The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. How are you? It's, whatever. Good to be with you. This is week number 72,523. I come in here once a week to, it's also I use their public bathroom, but besides the point. Also, I stop by and do a show, by the way, as long as I'm here. I do this once a week. However, on a couple of syndicated stations, actually 5. And, hi guys. And also on that internet thing, we're on 40 different platforms, all the big ones. I do this show every weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Every single weekday. We're up to 3,000 episodes that you can actually listen to online on all the platforms. Oh my God. And then also, I've been doing this now for 33 years. Used to do broadcast radio in the Boston area, did their morning show for 25 years. And wow, oh man, that makes me feel tired. So what I do is I talk about the things that make no sense, how I have great disappointment in humanity. Humanity did not work out too well. It is proven to be the case, no question about it. So I point that out as well. And I frequently say that we are all in the same boat. That's what we have in common. We are all in the same boat. Unfortunately, that boat is the Titanic, and that didn't work out too well. But thanks for being here, and enjoy the other fine programs. Every once in a while, I have to do something animated. Otherwise, it's just a radio show. What's the point? So if I move my arms every once in a while, it becomes he's into creative dance. So anyway, that's it. So the other fine shows here, although I must admit, I do not do real estate. I don't weave baskets. I'm not on the school committee. So I don't really know what I'm doing here. But nonetheless, whatever. I wanted to talk today about a couple of things, and we'll see how much time we have, and then I'm just going to leave you high and dry. This show's a half an hour long, and that's by design, because any less than half an hour, I can't get my point across. Any more than half an hour, it just becomes annoying. So this is somewhat in between, and thanks for being here. Okay, when I was a kid, I was a wonderful kid, by the way. My parents told me that. In my family, I listened to my parents. I did what they said until I became a teenager. Then I was not really pleasant to be around. But before that, I was an angel. I had this ring of something over my head. I was a freaking angel. And when my parents asked me to do something, I would do it because they asked politely and nicely. We never really had an argument when I was a young child. Everything turned out really kind of nicely. We lived in the suburbs of New York City, in New Jersey, just over the George Washington Bridge. Not under the bridge like a troll or anything, but down Route 4, Teaneck, New Jersey, that kind of area. A nice house, not anything extravagant, but a nice house, and it had a yard. And every single Saturday, my father would ask me to please mow the lawn. And I did it because I thought that was my job. I mean, I wasn't working. I was 12, maybe 13 years old, maybe 11. I don't know. I think I was 12 or 13. And I had no problem with helping out because that was the kind of wonderful person that I still am. So I would get the lawnmower. We'd fill it with a gasoline, check the oil. Before that, it was a hand mower because my parents were cheap. It was a hand mower where you actually have to push it and there was no motor. Yeah, I go back that far because I'm over 25 years old. But basically, it was the that gas-powered lawnmower thing that we're all familiar with. And I did that every single freaking... It was monotonous, awful, but it gave me time to myself. See, when I take on a task, I kind of just zone out in the task, and I just kind of consider it just me time, me and whatever I'm working on. So I would mow that lawn. And the problem with mowing the lawn is that while you're doing it, it looks really nice, and when you're finished, it looks really, what a reward when you're finished. Whoa, that lawn looks beautiful. The next day, yeah, that looks still good. Day after that, by the time it's like Thursday or Friday coming on the weekend, the lawn looks horrible again, and it's time to mow. But it was like, no matter how well I do it, a week later, I got to do it all over again. The same thing that I toiled and sweated for, I got to do it again in like the 6 days. Or how many days in a week? I don't even know. I think it's up to 7 now. Soon it'll be 8. So that's what I did, and I did that through my whole childhood. And when it snowed outside, and it snowed back then, back in the 1500s, when it snowed outside, my parents didn't even have to ask me to do it. I would grab a shovel from the garage, and I would shovel the driveway and the front path to the front door. I did that automatically. And I didn't mind that because once I had done that, it stayed shoveled. Unless it snowed again, well, you know, but then there was a new snow, so it was okay. But I did that all the time, and I went even a step further. My neighbors were quite elderly. I think they were in their 40s. When I was a kid, when you're in your 40s, it's like, whoa, pack it up, let's get out of here. I don't know how elderly they were, but they weren't shoveling anymore. So I automatically, when I finished shoveling my driveway, guess what Ron did? I'm Ron, by the way. I would take my shovel and go next door, and I would shovel out their driveway. It wasn't as large a driveway, so it wasn't a big deal to me. And they were so thankful. They would give me hot cocoa. Eventually, they allowed me to have sex with their daughter. It was as a thank you to me. So I'm kidding. It wasn't a thank you. But I would do that voluntarily. And other kids in the neighborhood would also. They would go around from house to house. Can I mow your lawn? Can I? Of course, for money, but they don't need a lot of money. And a candy bar, sometimes they're happy. But that's what we did as children. Let's fast forward to now, where disappointment abounds. I have not seen one kid in this town, or any town, take out a shovel on a snowy day and knock on the neighbor's door. Can I shovel your driveway for you? $20. Sure. What happened? What happened? Do you know what these kids are doing? The same put your arms down. The same kids that could be shoveling my driveway, you know what they're doing? Playing video games or picking their nose or something. What happened? Why aren't they out getting exercise and shoveling other people's driveways and making some money? What happened to that concept? Because we did it in my neighborhood when I was a child. And we did it happily. And it taught us something. It taught us to get to know our neighbors. It taught us to actually, financially, if you work, you get paid, and now you have money. All the lessons are so positive and so real. Gone. Just gone. Just doesn't happen anymore. Now when I want my driveway shoveled, well, if it's just an inch or two, I'll do it myself. I'm taking chances here at my age, but I'll do it myself. A couple of inches, I can deal with that. So can my wife. Well, actually, she can't. But if it's more than 3 inches, I got this snowplow company that'll come in and remove it for $120. A little more than $20, yes, but still, I do what I have to do. When I was mowing as a child for my parents, I was employed by them apparently, and they would give me money. You know, my allowance was built into the fact that I did things like that around the house. You know, it's okay. It was no big deal. I didn't mind doing that. Hell, I didn't have to pay for food, no groceries. I didn't pay for items. They paid for the house. When I got in the car, I didn't have to pay for transportation. I mean, it was all laid. I mean, they had insurance for me. Least I can do is mow the lawn or shovel the driveway, or be a good Samaritan. Turned out to be a lousy name for a hospital, but or I'd be a good Samaritan and help out the neighbors, just because I already had my shovel out and I had nothing else to do. Maybe it's because we didn't have video games. I have no idea. But even if we did, it would have nothing to do with it. We're not raising our children to do those things that I had to do when I was a child, and I did it. I had to, and I'm glad I had to. However, there was one memory that I have mowing my lawn in Teaneck, New Jersey, and I'll never forget it. You know, you forget everything when you get older, but some things just resonate and they never go away. And here's what it was. I was mowing the lawn, and I remember we had a tree in the middle of the lawn, and there was, it was in a nicely, put in there, with the nicely landscaped, and had the edging and the mulch in it and all that. But you can't mow right across. You have to mow in a circle around the tree until you've mowed it enough. Then you can continue with your straight lines. It's a little mowing tip, by the way. But I remember going around this tree, and I remember saying to myself, I can picture it. I can picture going around the tree with the lawnmower, and me saying to myself, when I get older, which I probably never will, but when I get older, I'm not going to do this anymore. The luxury will be that I don't have to mow anymore. So, what happened? Well, I got older, and at a point, I did say to myself, because the property got larger when I started having houses, and I actually said, okay, no more mowing. Now I have a landscaping company come in and mow my lawn for $75 a week. That adds up. That's a lot of money. I'd be happy to let a kid do it for $20, maybe $30, maybe even $40, because I'm giving it to a kid so that they can learn the value of money and they can work it. Even that. But it's not to be done. It doesn't happen. I drive around. I never see any kids going house to house with a shovel or a lawnmower. Nothing. We do everything for our kids, don't we? We do everything for the kids. Pay for them. You shuffle them around. Take them here and there. Arrange your schedule around their stuff. Are they helping you out at all? Shouldn't that be a family effort? You're doing for them, they should do for you. Isn't that like what we're supposed to teach each other? Sometimes I'll see some little kids sitting on the side of the road with a lemonade stand. I mean, I'll get a little plastic cup of lemonade. I won't drink it because I don't know what's in there. It could be trying to kill me or poison me. I have no idea. I have a bad reputation. I'll just toss it to the side when they're not looking, but still, I'll buy it from them. And I say to myself, this is right. This is what the little kids should be getting into merchandising on the curb of the street. I think that's the concept of it is great. They're sitting there doing something constructive like that, even though I don't want the damn lemonade. When a Girl Scout comes to my door and wants to sell me her cookies, it sounded wrong. I say, sure. I don't eat that crap. I have pre-diabetes. My doctor, I don't have diabetes. Let's not go there. But you all got pre. You all could have it. Don't eat a lot of sugar, Ron. Don't eat sugar at all if you can avoid it. So I train myself not to eat that much sugar. Maybe I don't even like that much sugar. So yeah, I'll buy the box from the Girl Scout, but I'll throw it away right away because that's not the point. I haven't seen Girl Scouts at my door, by the way, for a long time, and I don't know if it's me or the fact that they don't do that anymore. Probably they don't do that anymore because they would consider that all of a sudden to be dangerous. They've been doing that for 50, 60, 70, maybe 100 years. I don't know. But now it's too dangerous. Now it's too dangerous. With all the cameras and all, now it's too dangerous. I understand. I accept the Girl Scouts cookies, even though they're not a website. Websites ask me to accept their cookies, and I say, no, I can't take your cookies. I'm not supposed to be eating this stuff. But I click on it anyway because that's the kind of guy I am. I accept their cookies. Why am I talking about that? Oh, so kids, I also took the garbage out. I took when the garbage, the trash cans were full inside the house. My parents used to ask me, Ron, can you bring the garbage out to the garbage cans, please, and put them out for the garbage collectors? Sure. And then there came a point where I just did it automatically. Didn't have to ask me. It was just part of what I do. It's just part of what I do. It's who I am. Taking out trash. It's who I am. Which did end up being my life's work, is dealing with trash professionally, so to speak. So what am I crying about now? The fact that kids just don't do that stuff anymore, and it's a shame. And I don't know why. I don't know where that stopped. I don't know how raising children stopped. I mean, my parents were wonderful. I had a great childhood. They never hit me, never smacked me, threatened to, but never did. Never laid a hand on me, never cursed at me, never told me I was no good, nothing like that. It was a rather pleasant childhood for both me and my brother. I mean, yeah. Because when you hit a kid, you know what you're teaching them? Violence. It's violence. If you have frustrations or you can't handle something or you're upset with somebody, hit them, even if they're children. It's not a good lesson. It's wrong. It's why we are where we are and always have been, because we handle our differences with violence. And then we go to the movie theater and we pay $12 a ticket to watch violence on a movie screen larger than life, with people's heads being blown off and being shot in the chest and all that kind of disgusting, horrific stuff. We pay money for it and we watch it while we eat popcorn. We love violence. No, Ron, that's not real violence. They try to make it as real as possible. Why are we so hell-bent on violence in our society and around the world? Whose idea was this? There's violence even in the Bible. What's going on here? We're supposed to evolve. Not true. I'm going the other way. Always have been, really. Okay, subject number 1, 18 minutes into the show. Thank you for being here. Let's take a break. Whew, God. Okay, break is over. I greatly dislike daylight savings time, or DSL for short, because we can't say everything in their long form. We have to shave it down to initials. DSL, daylight savings time. And the thing is, it's not even DSL, it's DST. Did you catch that? It's DST, daylight savings time. I don't want it to be sunny outside when I go to bed at 9 o'clock. Call me crazy. I like it to be dark in the room when I get sleepy. I would say if it got dark every day at 7 o'clock, I could deal with that. I think that's wonderful. Because I'll go to bed early sometimes. I mean, who am I kidding? I'll go to bed early sometimes. I don't want to do it in the sunlight. And also, the sun comes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Not necessary. Why didn't you do that when kids were going to school, waiting at the bus stop in the dark? What's all this? Why are we saving this daylight time? For what? For a rainy day? This has been going on for a long time. Woodrow Wilson actually tried to stop daylight savings time unsuccessfully, though. I understand that Arizona doesn't do it, doesn't do daylight savings time. I guess if you're a state and you don't want to put up with this crap, you can just change it. You can change time. You can actually change the time. This is something that even Einstein couldn't do. I don't know why we have daylight savings time. Do you know the reason that this was installed upon us? I think you know. You think you know. It was because it was an energy saving. If it stayed light outside in the evening, then it would cut down on electricity costs and energy costs. Every single study that has been done, every single one of them, by any efficient organization, has proven that this makes no difference whatsoever. When it's hot outside, you're running your air conditioning whether you're inside or not. I mean, if you step outside at 8 o'clock at night to enjoy some mosquitoes, you still got the air conditioning going full blast and you're still doing stuff inside. It does not save energy, daylight savings time. What it does is it psychologically messes you up. Every single year, 2 times a year, or twice as they call it, you have to readjust. And your body, you might think you're readjusting, your body isn't. Why are we doing this? Why? Is there anything wrong with it getting dark at 5 or 6 o'clock at night when you're having dinner? Is there any reason why you should be having dinner in bright sunlight? Is there any reason for that? I don't get it. I've been against daylight savings time ever since I realized that that was what you called it, and it wasn't DSL. I don't understand it. What about you? Do you get it? Bothers me, daylight. It's always, every day the sun sets at a different time. Why? Why can't we just keep it the same time? Why during the summer months, when it's hot outside, do I have to have more hot 90-degree weather until 9 o'clock at night? If the sun went down in the summer at 6 o'clock, it wouldn't be that hot at 8 o'clock. We're not saving energy. We're wasting it is what we're doing. We're making it hotter longer. And speaking of hotter longer, this summer is supposed to be what they predict to be one of the hottest summers on record. Now, that's hard to say because there's an entire Earth involved, and when it's hot in one place, it may not be hot in another place. I only care about where we are, in the Northeast. Fortunately, I can talk about this because I'm not doing a national thing right now. I'm just talking to you locally. When I do the national show on the weekdays, I can't do this because everybody's got different weather in different places. But for the Northeast, they're expecting a hotsy-totsy kind of thing. The end of June will have 90-degree days, not just as a heat wave, but 4 or 5 days of them in a row. And if you have 4 or 5 days of 90-degree weather in a row toward the end of June to beginning of July, you're in for a time. You're in for a good time. Who's saving energy now, running their air conditioning 24 hours a day? If you're lucky enough to have air conditioning, not everybody does. Well, Ron, it gets cooler when the sun goes down. No, it doesn't. So it's 95 degrees during the day, and then it's a nice, cool 87 at night. What, are you kidding me? When you go to bed, it's still going to be 87 outside. It's not going to be 50. You're going to be running fans or air conditioning or having somebody do something to you that's going to involve energy consumption. You're still going to do your laundry. in the washing machine. You're still going to do the dishes. You're still going to run a dishwasher if you have that. Nothing changes. We're not saving anything, so stop this crap. I remember, I don't go to firework displays anymore. Do you know why? Been there, done that. Well, Ron, they get technically more interesting every year. No, they don't. Been there, done that. No more fireworks. The explosives in the air, that's what it looks like over Iran and Israel right now. So not exactly an ooh, ah, isn't that pretty kind of thing. But when I used to go see fireworks recently, I mean like the past 5 years, it's 9 o'clock at night. The sun has just gone down at about 8:45. It's not completely dark yet. So we're standing out there at 9:30 at night, and it's not completely dark yet. Excuse me. It's after 9 o'clock at night, and it's not completely dark yet. What Scandinavian country am I in? What's going on here? Stop this daylight savings time. I think the only reason we have this change your clocks twice a year thing is it so we can change the batteries on our smoke detectors. I think that's it. I don't see any other reason that this would be a reminder for anything. It just makes no sense. And when it doesn't make sense, then it doesn't make sense. Okay. Lastly, I wanted to talk about Comcast. I've got like 3 minutes left. 3 minutes is not enough time to talk about Comcast and my struggle with them for decency and some form of communication. Comcast is in the communication business. That's what they do. Communication. They do it with their phones. They do it with their internet. And they do it with their TV. Communication is supposed to be their skill. And yet, customer service-wise, they got nothing going. I'm going to say this very carefully, and I'll go into this in more detail on another show because I can't do this in a couple of minutes. When I have problems with my internet or something, and I have a connection problem, I call them because I have no internet, you see. My phone is connected to my internet, so I can't really even call them on my phone. They give you a house phone. Nobody uses it anymore. So I call Comcast. I have to wait for a long time. They give me tons of options. The robot, the AI thing gives me tons of options. And I shout into the phone. I shout to the robot, speak to agent, speak to customer service, speak to agent, speak to representative. I'm sorry, that wasn't one of the choices. Oh my God, stop it. You're a communication company. Stop this. When I do finally get to a person, I have never in the past 3 years spoken to anybody that spoke English. Now, I'm not putting that down. They do speak English, but their accents are so heavy. God love them. God love them. What happened to Americans who speak English clearly? And I'll get into that. I mean, and I'm not being, I'm not that. I'm just saying I can't understand what they're saying. I have a problem, and I can't understand what you're saying because of your accent so heavy. Where are you? You're not in Biloxi, Mississippi, I have a feeling. That's my first problem. I have others, but I have no time to get into it. We'll do this. Customer service has gotten horrific since AI and robots have gotten into the game. It has gotten horrific. And I know you feel the same way because I know you. I mean, I don't know who you are or what your name is, but you're somewhat human, aren't you? I'm not sure. Have you checked the box saying that you weren't a robot? And should I believe that? because I think robots can check boxes too. All right, I'm out of time. I'll be back again next week, if you want. But until that time arrives, make it a wonderful day. And as always, I wish you peace.